I'm Katerina Cirone, and I run track and field and cross country for DePaul's. I've suffered a lot of injuries. Coming in my freshman year, I was on a drug called Accutane, and it caused a muscle tear in my knee, and specifically my MCL, but we were unsure whether it was bursitis, so I had been taking painkillers just for anti-inflammatories and generic like topicals, but nothing seemed to help, nothing would ease the pain, and it's not until I started taking like a lot of like narcotics that I could even kind of get through and manage the day-to-day. Just recently, I had to go through a hip surgery because over the past 8 months, we've been doing all kinds of therapy, rehab, basic anti-inflammatories. Nothing was helping. I had to get the surgery to repair my labrum, and since I've been taking a ton of narcos, up to 6 a day, to the point you're so drowsy, you're not even really present when you are awake. And even then, you can kind of still suffer the pain through, so you have to weigh whether the narcos is more painful or whether the actual like pain of like my hip or your injury, and kind of like weigh those costs. Oh, there's a ton of pressure, not only put on by, like, obviously there's a personal pressure because we love to do our sport, we want to do our sport, but also the teams out there, the coach, they're always asking you, and the team's like, when are you going to be healthy? When are you going to be healthy? And you're like, I don't know, but there's always, they need a date, they need a time, they need what race are you going to next, and you're like, I don't know, my health isn't something I decide or has a timeline. It could be indefinite, you never know, and there's always a pressure of coming from both the team, the athletes, and the athletic trainers. Coaches especially, like, to get back out there. I think everyone kind of goes through that. Like, I was like, I'm gonna try to run through it, but you can only do so much until the pain's too much. Like, you can't excel in your sport always having that in the back of your mind that it's hurting, and physically it actually hurting. So I think like my teammate Jess tried to push through the pain with her foot and was told it was tendonitis. I was told something was bursitis. Like, we're pushing through, and then you end up with like a severe injury in the end, and then that severe injury sets you back another year and still counting. So I'm still working on my rehab and learning to walk, and who knows how long it's going to be. But I had a meeting with my coaches, and they wanted, so when are you going to be back? I'm like, well, I could not tell you, and I will not tell you because I need as much time as I need. So if it takes, I'm going to miss another cross, I'm going to miss another indoor, maybe I don't run till outdoor, I don't know, but I'm not going to rush that, knowing that I've already spent a year of pain and I do not want to take any more narcotics. People always like to belittle other people's injuries, so whether they think, like, they might think you're going through a pain because you're saying, oh, like, my knee really hurts, it really hurts, but they don't know whether it's actually injured. Like, it's always like, they don't want to just conclude like they don't want to like take you off the roster, like this is the end result. So they like to kind of be like, oh, like, try and work through it for a bit. And you as like, I don't like to be like complaining, but especially if it's next week I'm out fine and then you look like you were just complaining about nothing. But I think this is a really big issue mostly for girls, and how our injuries aren't taken as seriously than men, and how they think like we're weaker, and me complaining as a girl automatically looks weaker than a guy complaining about the same injury, when really I tore my labrum and it took me 8 months to get that surgery and I wasn't complaining about nothing.
Awesome. Well, thanks. Yeah, perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.